Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the weekend edition with myself and the General C. Hope you're all well
Hello.
today. Hope everyone is good. Good evening to everybody in the chat. I see a few names here: Xbox Mick, Andrew Cullinane, Fantoser, Master Clown, of course, Studos, obviously my co-host, the General C, and anybody else who's watching or will be watching. Hello to you too. Don't be scared to say hello either. We've got a very warm and welcoming community here. And obviously they all like to talk between themselves. And RSJ fan, hello there, sir. But yes, introducing my co-host, of course, as always, the General C. How you doing today, brother? What you been up
Hello.
to?
Hello. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Bit of a sad day. We'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, not doing too bad. Been playing a lot of the new Pokemon on the Switch OLED. And really enjoying that. We'll be talking about that too.
Uh,
Also been playing
how
another
how
game.
how good of an idea was getting one of them?
Oh, it was brilliant. It's luckily. I mean, I had that Xbox controller that I bought about a month ago.
Hmm.
That was acting up. I took it back. I thought, should I get another Xbox controller? I mean, I already had one. It was just me buying a spare one, really, more than anything,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to keep using the Halo one. And I took it back. Didn't argue about it. They just said, "Yeah, we can exchange it for a Switch controller if that's what you want." So I got that, and it was a great decision. It's comfy, proper comfy
Isn't
controller, and I
it?
wasn't expecting it to be.
Really nice. It just fits. It's nice and snug.
Yeah, fits perfectly in the hand. It's proper nice little pro controller. Not too elaborate, not too expensive. Just a well-round controller. I'm enjoying it with the controller.
And how's that
Yeah,
OLED
been
as well? Because of course I've got the old Switch, but I'm playing mine docked, not handheld.
it's really hard to say because I've got no comparison. I've never ever held a Switch before in my life.
Yeah.
I've only seen videos of it, but it's a really colourful OLED screen. Um, I can't really argue with it. It's been a great investment. Been playing so much Switch, like, and it's kept me distracted from wanting to play Ragnarok because I was streaming Ragnarok and I've not been able to over the last few days. And Pokemon has kept me distracted from thinking about God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Should be back to playing that probably Tuesday in the daytime a little bit before the Sea of Thieves playcast. So I'll be back to God of War for a bit then.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I'm loving it. I have a few ideas and
I need to pick.
can't
I
say
might
much
see if
about
I
it.
can. I was gonna say I might try and pick that up on Black Friday because I think it's going cheap now. I think it's like 20 quid or
It
something.
was 30 quid for that, and you get like the arm strap thing with it. I have some ideas for something I want to do with that, but there's something else I need to order to be able to do that. So I'm aiming to get that done next month, hopefully.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna have some fun with that. So there's probably gonna be some content on the channel soon of me looking like a tit.
Playing some Switch Sports.
It's I'm gonna do a funny, hopefully, video and see what happens with that. Hopefully, I don't look too much like an idiot. Oh well, it is what it is. Gotta have some fun
Yeah,
with it. And,
exactly. We'll see.
who doesn't look like a tit when they're streaming
Yeah.
Switch Sports or Wii Sports? So
Yeah, it's been a while since I played any of them. To be fair, so the Wii was literally the last time, and I actually
I've
quite
never
miss
played
playing
Wii
like
Sports.
bowling and tennis and things like that because they're actually quite fun, especially when you're playing against somebody. So I'll pick it up and we'll get ourselves on stream playing some Switch Sports.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny.
Just
I've
try
also
not
been
to
playing
throw your
another game.
Joy-Cons through the screen or anything. I mean,
Yeah, I probably end up losing a Joy-Con playing that. Yeah, I have been playing another game that I can't speak about, and that video for that I think should be out tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. I can't 100% commit to that, but I think the review embargo lifts tomorrow, and I should hopefully have the video out by then.
yeah.
Fingers crossed. I've wrote the review for that, and that's really as much as I can say on that because I don't want to get killed.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, so we've been speaking about this actually. There isn't too much news this week. By too much, any news, none. So me and Jen, I've got a few topics. Of course, we've both been playing Pokemon quite a bit. Jen's much earlier on than me. I am almost at completion. But it isn't. I wouldn't say it's not an uber long game, but it can be turned into an uber long game. Of course, if you're catching all of the different Pokemon and you're evolving them all and things like that, it's going to take you a while.
They give you a lot of freedom in this Pokemon
Yeah.
game, which I've never seen in a Pokemon game before to this extent.
Yeah, like
Basically,
in original ones, like specifically for the gyms, it's like you have to do it in a certain order. But this one
and
isn't
then
that way.
you've got those moments that block you from going to a gym. You have to do a specific task first, and it doesn't do that in this game. You basically have your like opening. I think it's about 3-ish hours, 4-ish hours. Get your starting Pokemon, begin to level it up a bit. Go to the school in the game. I think you can actually like go into classes in that game and do classes. I guess that probably help you out some way, shape, or form. I've not done them myself yet.
Yeah.
And then after like that opening part of the school, you're then given a whole lot of freedom to go and explore, and you have many choices in what direction you want to go. I think there's 3 specific paths that you choose. The path to the Pokemon League. You got the path of Titan Pokemon, and then Team Star, which are the rivals in this game. A bit like Team Rocket.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're like your main sort of overarching villain sort of thing of the game. I haven't done any of the Team Star stuff yet. I've only really done 3 gyms because I'm falling behind because I had to obviously play a game that I can't speak of.
Yeah.
Because an assassin will come out at any moment and kill me. So yeah, I'm enjoying Pokemon though. The freedom is nice this time round, and you don't feel like you're being pushed into doing all these tasks that are in your way.
It's actually so much to do this time around, like a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'll just because I've got mine open on the big screen here, there, and then you can see there. 8 out of 8 gym badges, 5 out of 5 Starfall Secret Streets, and 5 out of 5 Path of Legends. So there's a lot to do.
There is a lot to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have
quite overwhelming at first, to be honest, until you sort of get the grips. I didn't know what I was doing when I first opened up. I was like, okay, so what gym do I do first? It doesn't tell me.
Yeah.
And basically, you can do the gyms in any order you want. Not a good idea, but
yeah,
but you can because they're all obviously still set levels. If you
definitely.
end up going into the wrong gym, you're gonna walk into a gym leader that's got Pokemon that are 10 plus levels higher than you, and it's gonna be a bad time for you. So
Yeah.
I would recommend that maybe you look at a guide, a walkthrough guide, not too in depth. You just type in how I did it. I just typed in best gym order, and it'll give you a list of
Yeah.
gym order to take, and that's what I did. But yeah, I really am enjoying it. Like, there's these Pokemon Terror Raids, they're called. I think that's a little bit inspired by what they're doing in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Slightly different because in this Pokemon game, you've got these moves called Terror moves, and basically it shields your Pokemon in like this crystal sort of like thing, and your Pokemon can have this subtype, which is another interesting take. For example, the mystery gift in this game is a Pikachu with the ability of flying, which never in my mind would I ever imagine a Pikachu flying, but can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely there's a lot to do in it, and there's a lot of new places, loads of cities, loads of customizability for your characters. Obviously you've got picnics which give buffs to your characters and your Pokemon, and like I say, there's personally for me, so you start off with the legendary character, which a lot of people found confusing. Just start off with the cover character, but your cover character is weak and can't do anything because he's like lost all of his energy in some accident. So throughout the course of the game, you slowly generate him and him back. So yeah, Jen's got Violet there, so he's got the Violet.
I only got it because it's purple.
Legendary, yeah.
I can't lie there.
But you do eventually get to use those legendary characters, but you get to at end game when you go to what's classed as Ground Zero or Area Zero, which is the crater in the middle, and that's where all the high level legendary Pokemon and things like that are. So that's when you need your legendary Pokemon to be able to help you fight.
Yeah, it really feels like they thought out the end game level content.
Yeah.
I've not got to it myself, so I can't really speak on that.
Yeah. So
not
on a
too
personal
far from it myself.
recommendation, and I spoke with Jen about this, I said do Path of Legends definitely, like work your way through them as quick as you can, because that helps your legendary regain his powers, so he'll be able to fly, be able to double jump, he'll be able to walk on water, you'll be able to glide, and sprint, so you can actually get places really quickly and get to places you wouldn't. Oh yeah, and climb. I forgot about that. So now I can climb up vertical surfaces, so I can just go anywhere on the map, and there's no issues. So you can access places you've never accessed before. You can literally get to the tallest part of the map, like, and there is no restrictions on you getting there. Like, it doesn't try to stop you. And then of course have them awesome bird's eye views, and then glide all the way down to the bottom again. Find new Pokemon that you've never seen before because of the area. So there's lots to do. How have you found coming from what's actually because I didn't play Diamond, but I did play Arceus, so I already had an idea of what the open world's like. But what's the difference to you compared to Brilliant Diamond to this one?
Well, Diamond is more like over the top sort of thing. This is more like you've got this whole 3D world that you can look around in. It's not forced like above it pointing down. Diamond's more like your old school traditional type Pokemon game, and this is more like Arceus, where it's totally like 3D created world.
Yeah.
That's obviously a big change for me because I never played Arceus. It's something I do need to play at some point, but I'm gonna have my hands tied with this, and I've got to go back and do Diamond, which I'm about 60% completed.
Yeah.
I was hoping to have Diamond done before I got this, but that came out, and I pushed Diamond to the side because I wanted to play the new Pokemon.
Yeah, and I don't blame you.
Yeah, the biggest changes are obviously the way the gyms are done. This Path of Legends thing is different because your typical legendary Pokemon you would get a later time in the game, like mainly towards end game after you've done all the gyms and the Elite Four.
Yeah.
And also the enemy characters, the teams that have usually been in the past, like Team Rocket, Team Galactic, Team Magma, and all that from the older classic style games. It's different in this Team Star. You've got like mission based, and I'm guessing you go to their headquarters because I did accidentally stumble into one, but that was because I fell into it, and then they kicked me out. So I don't know how that really that goes about. Seems like you probably have to go up to the front gate and challenge them, similar to a gym. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that works, and I'll obviously get to that a little bit later. I haven't done any Path of Legends yet, as well, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That's something I'm looking forward to trying out because I've only been doing the gyms because that's what I've always been used to doing first in a Pokemon game. So I need to sort of break that tradition of being tied down to doing the main path, which is usually the gym.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to take in at first when you've got all this basically handed to you, and it's very vague, some of it. So you do once you get past that part where you can go and choose the direction you want to go, whether that be the gyms, the Team Star, or the Path of Legends. it can be quite overwhelming. Like, you look at all that and you're like, okay, so where do I go first? Where's the best place to go first? And not knowing that can be a little bit confusing.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
once you figure it out, it's a hell of a lot of fun to just do what you want in a Pokemon game. Like, not be tied down to this. You've got to do this first in the game, and do basically whatever you want, whatever order you want. You can run around and train to your heart's content, and take on the toughest gym first if you wanted to, and and that's something I like in this Pokemon.
Yeah, and the good thing about it on this one as well, I'll just catch this one quickly. The good thing about it on this one is that you don't, each of the 3 things that you mentioned, they've all got very unique storylines. So Team Star is actually not like Team Rocket when you actually get to the end of it. It's a bit different. But it's a storyline that you can follow. It's not like they're trying to take over the world. It's nothing like that. It's a bit different. Then there's
They sort of come across the sort of like school bullies and
yeah,
what do they call them in America? Like jocks, didn't they? They call them jocks. They come
yeah.
across like as if they're those sort of characters.
That's exactly what it comes across as. Yeah, to be fair. Oh, there we go. There's one of them little coins.
I mean, that's pretty much what you get at the beginning of the game. They're like trying to bully a student into joining their team,
Yeah.
and like you, as your character, interrupt and help out, basically telling them to jog on.
And you know
I
like I say, and then you've got which I recommend if anyone who's playing it, recommend everybody does that, is do the Path of Legends, because obviously, as you can see, if anybody's watching this gameplay as well, obviously you can fly,
looks
you
like
can
it opens
sprint.
up a whole world of options to traverse the land.
Yeah,
Because I've not done it yet, and I've just been really just using it as a sort of like a motorcycle, really,
as you
just
can.
driving around like that.
Yeah,
I didn't even know you could do half this stuff with that Pokemon. So that's new to me.
yeah, and obviously
That blue thing there
even when
is
you've fully evolved them, so there we go. Even when you've fully evolved or healed them, you can still do all the riding around and things like that on them as well, which is good.
yeah, it's definitely an ambitious Pokemon game, and I
Yeah.
hope they continue this going forward, expanding upon it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. One of the things I've noticed as well is, and I didn't know this before I picked up the game. So this is the first Pokemon ever to do actual up to 4-player co-op, which I didn't know was a thing.
I remember streaming it on launch night, and you didn't even know that until I mentioned it, because you were like, "What?"
Yep. It's like, say what?
That was a funny stream, giving chat the choices of calling our Pokemon different names, and one of them was called Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
One of them was called Crack Addict.
And
Yeah,
like,
there was some unique names.
oh, yeah, definitely. Poop nose.
Poop nose, gone but not forgotten. Because yes, I did start again after that.
Goodbye, Owen Wilson. Wow. But yeah, it's
I might buy Scarlet and just mess around with Pokemon Scarlet.
yeah, get the
silly
double pack.
names for stream.
But
yeah, like
yeah,
once I finished that stream, I started again. I was like, okay, I'm not really going to stream this a whole lot. I'm not going to have time to. I'll be going back to God of War, so that's going to eat up all of the time I'm streaming.
yeah, same. Absolutely the same. Of course, you've got these terror raids, which you're seeing on screen there. Now, the main reason you do these isn't specifically for the Pokemon, because half the Pokemon are pretty low level and crap. It's actually for all the rewards you get afterwards. So, like, all these experience candy S, experience candy M, Fur, Terra
They're like
Shards,
rare candies.
Stardust.
They'll give you like a whole bunch of XP.
Yeah.
Small one gives you obviously a small amount. There's an extra small one which really gives you barely anything, so it's kind of pointless.
Use all the
But,
extra smalls on little Pokemon you want to rank up if you're going to be doing it that way.
yeah, I think I will save them just for like when I'm going back and catching some of them Pokemon that I missed along the way.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like you say, it's a very ambitious title. I seen it on Barely Making Rent stream the other day, and he had 4 people playing the co-op in it. And there doesn't seem to be any real limitations as to where your party's going. You kind of everybody can just go off and do their own thing, and you can just stand back and watch people take on Pokemon or fight, which is always like it's different and cool to watch because obviously you can just essentially do whatever.
Are you telling me that Nintendo made a game where you can run around, 4 people run around to their heart's content and go as far as they want, and Warner Brothers couldn't do that with Gotham Knights?
Oh no, Warner Brothers did it, and both of these games perform at their best at 30 frames.
I'm just taking a jab. It makes no sense why Gotham Knights is a 2-player co-op game. It's basically what I'm saying.
I agree. I think I've already been up this tower. Can't remember.
Yeah, I think this is the tower I went up and found the little like chest.
That thing there. Him.
It's slightly delayed. That's the one, yeah.
I've already caught him, so I don't need him again. So I'll just kill him. But he does give you a lot of gimme ghouls or whatever the hell they're called.
You get more if you capture him. Do if you kill him.
I got 60 there, so I don't know.
You get 50 if you capture him, so maybe you get more if you kill him, destroy him, or knock him out, or whatever you call it in this game, because you don't actually kill them, they faint.
Yeah, yeah. If you murder him on screen. Imagine if Pokemon did that instead. They just murdered everybody.
If Pokemon was real, there'd be blood and guts everywhere.
Yeah, just evaporate your Pokemon. You're like, no, you can't go back into the Pokeball now. He's dead.
That would be funny.
But so many, like the I think I've already beat you, have I? Yeah.
Gotta kill them all, Fanto said.
Gotta kill them all, Pokemon. Yeah, and it's like you mentioned before as well. There's so many items, like
there's tons of items scattered around
everywhere. There's
like across rare candies and
there's either little like massive ones that have big beams coming off them, or there's the little ones that like you can essentially barely.
The ones with the green beams coming off them, I think they're different moves you can pick up. And then you got like the typical red ones.
Yeah.
Yet to find a Master Ball or anything like that.
No, I haven't found a Master Ball yet. I don't even know if you can get a Master Ball or I don't know. Well, we shall see. I might get one when I finish the fight with the elite thing, but I don't know what Pokemon it would catch if that's the case.
I'd imagine if you're gonna find a Master Ball and rare candies, well, an abundance of rare candies, it'll probably be in that Area 0, maybe.
Yeah.
The legendary Pokemon and all that. That'll be interesting.
But it's you know what it is. It's the kind of Pokemon you want to see going forward. Absolutely. Now we've both said the same thing.
There's one change I'd love to see.
Yeah.
I think you're probably about to mention it.
Yeah.
Voice acting.
Oh, absolutely. Eventually, but it'll probably be absolutely cheesy beyond recognition.
Yeah, there's just some moments in like the opening of the game that I thought would have been more impactful had it had voice acting.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and it would speed the game up so much as well if you weren't just cycling through text all the time. Especially a lot of the text, which is like proper mundane.
I'm terrible when it comes to reading. I get distracted easily.
I needed one of you.
So easily distracted. Are you playing this live?
Literally playing this live, yeah.
I thought this was video footage from
No, this is me playing live. This is live footage, boys and girls. Ooh, level 50 Flareon as well. Happy days. There we go, and I can catch it straight away. It's a good thing about
like Nintendo haven't got the money to get voice actors.
They definitely have, haven't they? The one thing I would love to see though is Nintendo actually spend money on some hardware.
This would look awesome if it was on a next gen version of the
Oh
Switch.
God, imagine this is the devs that are completely and utterly restricted by mobile hardware doing all of this. People are complaining about the performance on a Switch, but I don't blame the devs at all. Like, they're working, and I don't think people realize, but they're working with. It's about. Equates to something like less about.
Proper out of date technology.
Yeah, it equates to something
Barely
like.
even caught up with what the last generation of consoles.
It's the issue we've got is that the actual power, when you're comparing it to the current generation consoles for these, is, I think the Switch works out at shy of 1 teraflop. It's not even a teraflop, the Switch. Not even 1. Now, if you think about all the work that the devs have been doing on the Nintendo Switch with a singular teraflop, like, like that is insane.
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, could you imagine what they could do if they invested in the technology that they had now for like Series X and PS5? Imagine what the Nintendo games would look like.
Yep.
Had they had that technology for this or for the next Zelda game. That's
Insane.
something I need to play is Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Never ever played a Zelda game in my life.
Well, the good thing about Breath of the Wild is it's unlike any other previous Zelda. It is a huge open world. That's why people keep comparing everything to Zelda Breath of the Wild when they're talking about open world, is because it changed the formula for Zelda, like, massively.
I'm really surprised I didn't get a copyright strike from Nintendo for that 3-hour stream.
Yeah, they
Even
must be
for the
feeling
music.
generous. Just give them a week or so.
I was expecting to wake up and go, oh shit, the copyright struck me.
Yeah.
But I've been copyright struck or don't have a claim yet, so fingers crossed they don't.
My fingers crossed.
I've said it now, you watch.
Yeah, as soon as you finish checking, it'll go off. But I'd love to.
Probably check it now, and it'll be there.
I would honestly, though, love to be able to see the devs be given bigger and better hardware to actually make their games, because if this is what they can do with such pitiful hardware and technology,
I'll tell you what would be nice. I mean, Xbox have already expressed their interest in bringing Call of Duty to Nintendo Switch. It would be nice if Xbox go, let's help you out hardware-wise.
Yeah. You would
that
hope.
That would be something I'd love to see.
But the problem they've got these days, I suppose, as well, is that and I've completely lost my trail of thought. The issue you've got when it comes to the technology they're using, which is ultimately mobile hardware and mobile technology, is that the cost of the components inside of mobiles is far more expensive than the cost of components inside of consoles.
Yeah.
We're talking about not just mobile chips in general, but we're talking about kind of the RAM, the mobile RAM that they've got to use. They've got the mobile processors that are specifically for mobiles that are completely different to the onboard CPU GPU combinations that are used in actual consoles. And then, of course, they've got a mobile screen that they've got to worry about. And now they've got the OLED console.
It would be nice to see them go in the direction where the dock enhances the...
Yeah. Well, even then, don't be scared to put out a high-end Nintendo console.
It's Nintendo. People are going to bloody buy it, no matter what.
But yeah, I was going to say, don't be scared.
How much it is, they'll buy it.
Don't be scared to put out like a high-end, a more performing version of a console, even at launch, where it's just a higher-end console for like 400, 450, because I think even at that price, people would get it as long as the performance was up there. And if they showed it off beforehand and said, listen, this is like triple the performance of any previous console we've done, not the rest of the market, but like this is triple the performance of a regular Switch. Like that, even that's going to help the developers a ton more.
You have a super chat from Boxenberger. He says, Why is Dutch avoiding playing Age 4 with me?
Thank you for the €2 super chat, Boxenberger. I am not avoiding, but I will get my arse kicked. So appreciate that, and we will play Age 4 together. Are you currently playing Age 4 whilst listening to this podcast, Boxenberger? I would not be surprised.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
I got a lot from that one there. A lot of them, sweet.
What star rating do those?
Well,
tour
that one
ratings go up
was
to?
4. That's the highest one I've seen. 4.
Highest one I've seen is 3.
Yeah.
Oh, he's playing Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you are catching up with Ragnarok now, aren't you? Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I'll be catching up with Ragnarok again tomorrow. And to be fair, I was going to stream Ragnarok on Saturday, but I was far too tired. Actually, it was Friday and then Saturday, and I was just still too tired.
Don't blame you.
What on earth is this
Don't blame
place? Have I been here before?
I think that's where the grass gym is, right? Oh, that's
Yeah.
another thing I forgot to mention. The gyms now, they do them differently. Obviously, you know, but for chat, when you go to a gym, you go to the front desk and you get a like a challenge you have to
Yeah.
accomplish, and then you go back outside the gym to accomplish that challenge. And they can be as simple as complete this hide and seek challenge where you have to collect 10 Pokemon, bring them back to a specific person that then obviously allows you access to the gym battle, the leader.
Yeah.
There's a one where you have to kick a giant olive around.
Yes. The olive roll contest.
Yep. So yeah, that's a pretty unique way of doing it. You don't get like the gym trainers anymore. Well, there's one of them that I've encountered where you do. I think it's the electric gym. You have like 3 things you have to find a guy, a professor guy from the school hiding around in 3 different locations. But in between finding him, you have to battle phonetics, basically. Because it's like as if this gym leader is some sort of big shot Pokemon equivalent of YouTuber.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a little bit cringe, but
It was, but it was
it's
funny.
understandable.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was. She was a streamer, and you had to take part in her stream. Is that the one you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to make her stream go viral to be able to beat her.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. They're mostly easy, those challenges.
Yeah, they're pretty straightforward, and
A
obviously
bit of fun.
on each one of these games as well, as usual with the Pokemon, the reason they do 2 versions is so that you've got 2 sets of different like Pokemon to catch, should we say? That you can't get
That's why
in either.
Nintendo do it.
Yeah.
Because they want everyone to buy both copies.
Yeah. You've got exclusivity for certain Pokemon and certain things, so yes, it's certainly.
I mean,
go on.
I was going to say, would you say this is a contender for Game of the Year, not by Keely's terms?
Not by Keely's standards,
Game
and
of
to
the
be
Year.
fair, I think the press went absolutely overboard on. I think the press went absolutely overboard on the performance issues, and using that as a crutch and as an excuse to really kind of hammer on it. Because personally, I don't think the performance issues are as bad as they're making out. Yes, there is some stuttering here or there. There is a couple of slowdowns and things like that. But did it detract at all from the enjoyment of the game? No.
I mean, look at Call of Duty. That had loads of performance issues at launch. It's fixed not long after.
Yeah. And this is the thing, and but I think they really did a disservice to the game, to be honest.
I do find it weird how they dogpile on specific games, but also turn the other cheek when it comes to bigger franchise games having performance issues.
Oh yeah.
They just straight up ignore it like it doesn't exist. But when it's something, for example, this, it gets dogpiled.
Yeah. And it didn't. It honestly didn't deserve it. It did nothing. Like the performance issues. Yeah, there was some performance issues, but were they bad? Not really.
Like the only performance issue I've had with it is because I left the game open and I turned my Switch off and I came back to it. Must have been 5, 6 hours later, and I had stuttering and frame rate issues and some screen tearing.
Yeah.
Simple reset fixed that.
I think it will for most people, to be honest. But I think and there is a question mark on this map as well, by the way. If you haven't seen, it's just pissing around and trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. I've got no idea what it's for. But yeah, this I think it would absolutely, for Nintendo, have stood a chance for Game of the Year. You've got to think of the impact it's had in the type of open world it's brought into the franchise for the first time ever. Outside, of course, naturally of Arceus,
I'd
which is the first one they
definitely
tried.
say this is the big change Pokemon needed years ago,
Oh yeah, completely agree.
and I'm glad that they've finally got to it
Yeah,
because now it's reinvigorated my interest in Pokemon, and I'm excited to see what they do next with Pokemon. And if they do have a next gen Switch coming out, I'm going to be buying that day one,
yeah, yeah.
unless it's sold out, because we all know that they sell like hotcakes.
Oh god, completely like hotcakes. Where would you like to see Pokemon go next then? What would you think is the next evolution beyond this? Obviously, other than a bigger graphical change, more performance, a bit more tools for them to actually work with and not be like strangleholded by a weak hardware.
I say refine the world, the world as it is now. Obviously, when they choose a different region, because they obviously make up their regions. This one's, I think, based around Spain or Mexico.
Spain, I think it is, yeah.
So go obviously bigger with the open world.
Yeah.
Bring voice acting to it. That is the biggest change I want to see in Pokemon next. Is bring voice acting into it. They've got the money to do it. They've got the money to get voice actors. And look at the cartoon. They got the voice actors for that.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they could approach some of those actors and go, "We're going bigger with Pokemon next year or the year after. You want to do some voice work for it?" And I'm sure they'll do it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I wouldn't mind having like the lead character sound like Ash Ketchum. Like, I don't care. That'd be cool.
yeah, they could get multiple voice actors and allow you to choose the voice of your character, and they could even make a microtransaction of it, sell new voices at a later date for your characters.
Yeah. I don't
It's
see.
something I'd like to see.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the biggest next step in Pokemon that it needs to happen. It needs to happen to a lot of Nintendo's games because a lot of Nintendo's games don't have voice acting. They need to jump into the future with the rest of games and get a little bit of voice acting in there.
I'd also like to see them go a little bit bigger when it comes to. I mean, the world's big. Don't get us wrong. The world is a hefty
Oh, it's
little
massive.
size. But I'd like to see them go a little bit bigger when it comes to the world as well. Like to see them.
I think
Go on.
I was just going to say, I think the biggest ambitious step they could take next is take all the regions they've built, put them into one game.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Do like islands you can literally swim to or fly to, or whatever it is.
Yeah, let me go to the Kanto region or the Sinnoh region. Obviously, like you start the game in your specific area, but after you've done all of that, allow me to go to the next region and take on the 8 gyms over in that region and then their Elite Four.
Yeah,
That's something they could easily do, and they could do it. They don't even have to do it as everything's there in the game right off the bat. They could just launch the game as it is. You get the region that you start the game with, and then the rest is like season pass content, something like that.
yeah. Like I say, it's like you've got a good point there. To be honest, you'd be able to I mean, it would be a very large game, but you could essentially kind of lock the certain regions behind beating the Elite Fours in each region. And then the
Yeah.
next region you go into, the Pokemon are higher level again. So it kind of
Mm.
requires you to kind of train up and get your Pokemon high level in that area. And then you finish that Elite Four, then it says, okay, now this region's been unlocked, so you can swim over here and meet all the new characters, and there's a whole new set of missions for you here.
There's ways they could
And
do
then there's
it.
another
I mean,
ways, because they're always keen to split the games up, because of course what is this, 9th generation now? So technically you could have 4 of the regions in one color Pokemon, 4 of the regions in the other color Pokemon. And
that's
then,
something they could easily do.
yeah, and then of course it gives you a reason to have the separate ones, or gives you a reason to play co-op with your friends in the separate ones, because they're entirely different regions. Like, although you have the same main
another thing-
starting, you've both got different kind of evolving regions.
There's another thing they could do with that. They could do it where when you've completed the content of the main game and it do go to another region, you surrender your Pokemon for a time
Yeah.
to your boxes. You can't use them until you've obviously gone to that region. You've selected the specific starter for that region. Say it's Cyndaquil. It's the other one, Totodile, and can never remember the grass one.
Yeah, I know
But
what you're
say for
talking
instance,
about.
you go to that region. I think
Yeah.
that's is it Kanto region, that one?
Yes.
And you then basically starting the whole game over again. You choose a starter, you're back to level 5, and then you've got to beat the Elite Four to unlock your roster of Pokemon to be able to use in that region.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'd like to see. That's what I'd like to see. And again, Fanto in chat's got a good one there. A Pokemon MMO. That would be huge, to be fair. With like an actual player hub where it's just completely online. That would be huge.
Yeah. It's an easy way to build a live service Pokemon game.
Oh, absolutely. Easy way. But yeah, for me,
They can go bigger, and once you've done every region, you take on all of the Elite Four at once in like a gauntlet from every single region. Every region's Elite Four is gathered to, and you can take them on. That would be awesome.
Yeah, would be brilliant. Would be awesome. I'd just like to say, for me, and I think this would help Nintendo's devs across the board, not even just Pokemon. They just give them some good hardware, for crying out loud. Like, look at what they're able to pull off
100%.
with this shite.
Yeah, I'd just love to see a proper next gen Switch that is capable of keeping up with modern hardware and not be always a few years behind. That's
Yeah.
what put me off of purchasing a Nintendo Switch for quite some time. Because Nintendo have been falling behind with technology, and it's not like they haven't got the money to invest in the technology. It just seems like they don't care to be honest.
Yeah, they literally just don't care if it's good or bad. Their main concern is quite literally releasing.
I mean, they could easily, with the next gen Switch or whatever, if they've got their head screwed on, they could easily build the dock, and the dock is got more powerful specs in it that give the boost to the handheld. And once you dock it, you're playing on a more next gen experience.
Yeah.
And then when you undock it, obviously it's slightly restricted. So like it could be, I don't know, 2 teraflops in the handheld mode, and then when you dock it, it's 6 or more, whatever they nail their teraflops down to. If that's something that can be done, I don't know. I'm not an engineer of gaming devices, but pretty sure there'd be a way to do it.
Or even
Get a
work
few
with.
smart people together and they'll figure it out.
I was gonna say, work with Microsoft to use cloud streaming. So even if you're handheld mode, then it has one resolution. But if you're in dock, use cloud streaming to stream in high resolution textures. So then you've got like the much better, fancier looking graphics if it's plugged into the TV. But if it's in handheld, then of course naturally it's in like battery saver mode. So then it reverts to its handheld kind of style, which looks clean on a small screen. But when you maximize that into a big screen, as you know,
Oh yeah, I had it on like a 50-inch TV, 40. I can't remember how big my TV is. But yeah, I had it on a significantly big TV, and the bigger your monitor or TV, the more like you'll lose detail.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's just
And like we spoke about in TV mode, obviously the game isn't going to look great, and the footage you're going to get isn't going to look great because it's in TV mode.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're playing it on a handheld device, it looks absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it looks class on a handheld device. It's all right on a small monitor as well.
Yeah, I was playing it on my monitor in front of me. That's like 20 something,
yeah,
big-ish. But it doesn't take too much detail away. It's more like TVs that are your issue. Monitors are okay because most monitors are small. I mean, most people nowadays tend to use TVs as monitors, but if you're going to get a Switch or you have a Switch, I'd recommend a smaller PC monitor for gaming on because it looks a lot better.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Just make sure that monitor's got speakers or can plug speakers or some kind of sound into it. Alternatively, of course, you can use the aux port on the aux port on the Nintendo Switch to plug in some speakers when it's in dock mode. So there's an alternative. But other than that, a lot of Pokemon talk today. But Jen, we haven't also spoke about, and we didn't speak about this on the midweek mix-up podcast either, the middle of the week one. Gears of War and Netflix have partnered up to eventually create the Gears of War movie on Netflix.
That's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Like, they announced something Gears of War related. It was a movie before. God, years ago. I think it was like back at the beginning of the Xbox One generation when Gears 4 was coming out.
Yeah.
And it just died. And like, even
completely
before then,
died.
there was talks of a Gears of War movie and it never happened.
Yep.
It's a bad damn time. And I really hope there's only one person in mind for
And
Marcus.
two of the main characters that we said have already voiced their requirements for it. That's Lester Spate and Dave Bautista. Both of those have said, "Yep, bring it on. I'll do it." Absolutely.
See,
the time is now.
What annoys me about people that are fan casting is they keep asking for Terry Crews to be Coltrane, and that's a disservice.
Yeah,
because the guy who plays the Coltrane, the Coltrane is based on him. He's massive. He's proper muscly. He is the Coltrane. They based the Coltrane on his look.
Yeah, and
like, why would you go with anyone else? Obviously, they changed the look for the few other characters. John DiMaggio's Marcus. There's a slight resemblance there, but not too much.
Yeah.
Obviously, the guy who plays Baird, who looks nothing like Baird. The guy who plays Dom doesn't really look much like Dom.
Who have we said for Dom again? I've forgotten his name. I keep forgetting the actor's name, but we've both got the same thoughts.
People keep recommending John Bernthal for Dom. Guy who played the Punisher.
Yeah,
I don't
yes,
think he's
absolutely.
Hispanic enough.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's Hispanic though, is he?
I think he easily passes it. In fact, no, isn't he? Doesn't he like players like Italian American in most things? I think he is.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd be good. But he to be fair, he's got the looks of Dom, which is essentially what you. Andy's a great actor. If you get him, Lester Spate, and Dave Bautista as the mains.
People keep saying Ryan Reynolds is bad, and
that would be funny because Baird is like
it would be funny,
but Baird is also like Baird is also silly and stupid and keeps wise like the wise guy.
Could do that, but looks wise, I don't think it would look right.
I mean, you'll have saved money on Bautista. You'll have saved money on Leicester Spate. Bernthal's going to cost, and Ryan Reynolds is going to be through the roof. So it depends on how much money they're willing to spend.
Honestly, I see Dave Bautista approaching Netflix and saying, "Look, I will help produce this. I'll put money into this. Let me be Marcus, and I'll put money into this."
Yeah. I would also hope that Leicester Spate goes to them and says, "Listen, I want to be Coltrane because I
It
am
has to be,
technically
and
Coltrane."
if they pick anyone else, it's a mistake. That's such a disservice
And
to
it's
that
not like he
character
hasn't been
because
in things, because he's been in
Yeah.
films.
he's been in movies. He was in one of the Transformers movies, although it be a small bit part. But he's got the energy and the enthusiasm to play that character. I mean, there's like a whole tangent he goes on in Gears of War 2, and I've seen the behind the scenes footage of it, and it's bloody hilarious of him
Yeah.
basically calling out the Locust Queen, and
Do you
it's
remember?
funny.
Do you remember the adverts, Leicester Spate's adverts in the Office linebacker?
I don't remember that now.
Oh god! If you ever especially everybody in chat as well, if you get an opportunity, just go on YouTube and type in Office linebacker. It's Leicester Spate literally charging, like when people are doing stuff wrong in the office, they're like, "Ugh,"
Kind of
and then they
checking it
catch
out.
and Lester comes in and he's like, "Duh," and they're like trying to run away from him, and you just like see them getting like tackled into oblivion in the office. It is
If
so
they don't
funny.
get him, it's a mistake. If they get him, they've
Yeah,
got to redo that entire Coltrane song from the end of the Gears of War,
yeah,
the first Gears of War, and have him do that for the outro of that movie, like the credits. Just do it again.
completely agree.
Uh,
Completely agree. It's about
yeah,
damn time that they're doing this. To be fair, there's
I'm
that many. It was
glad.
like Gears of War and I think Gears of War and Metal Gear Solid are the two games that are getting turned into films that have been in talk for that long about getting made that people are just think, really, of course it is. Yeah, I don't believe it's getting
I'm
made
pretty sure there's been talks of a Gears of War movie since the original game came
since
out.
exactly, and it was exactly the
And
same for
everyone
Metal
wanted The
Gear because
Rock to play
everyone.
Marcus Phoenix back then, and I don't think that's ever been a right decision.
So everybody, it was exactly the same with Gears of War. Everybody was like, not Gears of War, sorry, Metal Gear. Because remember, was it Raven, the guy in the tank from the first one?
I can't remember.
And I'm sure, and
Such a long
basically
time
when
since I
that
played the
came
first
out, the
game.
guy was pretty much just Arnie, and everyone was like, "Well, if you're gonna do a Metal Gear movie, you know exactly who you're gonna cast as this guy. Like it has to be Arnie because he's like." It's him. Like it couldn't be anybody. It's this big beefy guy in a tank, like trying to fire at Solid Snake. I was like, you obviously have to get Arnie for that part. Like there's no other
Yeah,
ifs or buts.
that's a film I feel like, as much as it's been talked about, I don't ever see happening because I don't know how they're going to get it right.
Yeah, but
Metal Gear is a tough one to pull off without Kojima backing it.
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Because how do you pull off that wackiness and that level of craziness that Kojima brings to the table?
Oh, I know. Unless they just literally just mirrored the first game into like film form, which sometimes
I
is
think
the
that's
best way to do it
a
the first time
franchise,
round.
one of the very few franchises that would have to stick to the source material to a T,
Yeah,
because you can't stray from that because there's no one that can replicate or come close to replicating something similar than Kojima.
yeah, I agree.
He's got such a unique mind. It's impossible to try and do something based on his work.
Yeah, I completely agree. Um, but moving back to Gears, do you think because Netflix, they're not shy to spend a penny? I think
And they
Amazon. If
must
it
be
was on
serious
Amazon,
about
it
it
would be a
because
different story entirely. If it was on Amazon, I'd be concerned because
I mean,
I
they've
don't
already
think
had Dave
Amazon,
Bautista work with Netflix.
like
He was
Amazon's
in,
production value on some things is through the roof. On other things, it's shit, and that's putting it bluntly.
Amazon are
Whereas on
very,
Netflix, no matter what country it's from, the production value was always high quality.
yeah. I mean, even that Squid Game. The
Yeah,
production
God,
value on
aye.
that was high level from
I'm so
Netflix.
glad he's
And
getting a
that
second one as
zombie
well.
show as well.
Yeah.
I always forget the name of it. All of Us Are Dead, I think it's called. I
Yes, that
think
was
both of us
brilliant,
watched
that.
it and
That
fucking loved it. It was so good.
Yeah, the zombie one based in school.
There's been some absolute gems of TV shows on Netflix that have come out of Korea, Japan, and China. Fucking great. There's a zombie series that I keep meaning to go back to. It's set in, I think it's feudal Japan.
Yeah.
It's called Kingdom, I think.
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah,
started
yeah, yeah.
watching that, and I always meant to go back to it,
Yeah.
but I kept forgetting.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about, and to be fair, I haven't played it much either, if at all. So I probably need to get back
Mm.
to it.
It was interesting. It was like, I mean, obviously, zombies set in any setting like that is going to be an interesting thing to take on.
Yeah.
But I think I only got in like 4 episodes. I it must have been I was either playing a game or it must have been another TV show or something that was watching at the time, and I just forgot about it. It's one of them shows that I kept meaning to go back to and just always slipped my mind.
And that's the
But that's
thing.
the thing though, Netflix put some serious money into their projects, even if it's the smaller stuff.
And that's what that's the one thing that I'm hoping for on this one is that they put in that serious money.
Mm. I mean, they must be putting some serious money into it because it's not only a movie they've got in the works, they've got a cartoon coming out as well.
Yeah. An animated series, which could end up being. I mean, you've seen Edge Runners was brilliant, Arcane was brilliant. They're really stepping their work up when it comes to animated series on Netflix.
If they work with the coalition, they make the animation as close to the game's animations and artwork as possible.
Yeah,
I could see it being a huge TV show. It's that quality level of animation.
yeah,
I mean, look at how pretty Gears 5 is. If they make a TV show of that, then it's going to be bloody amazing.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna look pretty. Put it that way. A live action version of Gears, though. I mean, thankfully, there's some awesome prop stuff, and we've seen obviously the teams use, especially with Leicester Spate and with Bautista for when he was in Gears 5. We've seen
Yeah, he had that like whole
seen the armor for it.
production trailer thing where he's in the armor,
Yeah,
and they actually like transition that into him being in the game. You
yeah,
know, they obviously want and see him as Marcus Phoenix, and Blazinski even came out and said that Dave Bautista is his first pick for Marcus Phoenix, and that's the creator of Gears of War.
yeah,
That says it all, really. Like, you kind of have to pick Batista. Everyone sees Batista as Marcus.
yeah. I agree.
It'd be so shit if they cast someone else,
Yeah,
because that man has been championing for that role for such a long time, and it would be so disappointing. And I think he'd be so heartbroken if he didn't get that and someone else did.
oh, completely agree. And I think both him and Leicester Spate absolutely should be nailed on for both of them, and then the other two are up for discussion.
Yeah, I think Baird and Dom, as long as they get a decent actor, it doesn't really matter too much,
Yeah,
because those two, the voice actors don't look too much like their roles. Same with Marcus, and that's why I think Batista is perfect for the role, because he give him a soul patch and a bandana and he looks like Marcus.
yeah, exactly. So I'm really looking forward. It's going to be a while till we see it. When do you think we're likely to see this? Do you think it's going to be 24 or 25? How quickly do you think
If
we're
we're
going to get
hearing
this
about
through?
it now, it's very early production. I'd say maybe we'll learn more about the production towards the end of next year. It'll probably shoot the year after and possibly come out the year after that.
Yeah.
So 3 years' time. Obviously, in between that, they've got the animated thing, which likely will come out sooner because
Mm-hmm.
animation tends to be done a lot faster this day and age.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hoping if the animated show is based on the games, the first 3 games, I'm hoping they bring back all the voice actors for that. I don't want to see a single miscast character. They've got to bring them all back if it's going to be based on the games.
Mm.
They've got to have John DiMaggio. They've got to have Lester Spate play his character. Uh, Carlos, I can't remember his surname. Guy who plays Dom, he needs to come back, and obviously the voice actor for Bear needs to come back.
For the anime,
All the voice
absolutely.
actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it going to be an anime like a Edge Runners style animation?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an Edge Runner style anime, and I think that's to reach a wider audience as well. Because of course, the film might reach an audience, but I think an animated series will definitely reach Asian audiences, which is what they're objectively looking to do on that one. Especially if they then use, especially in the Asian territories, use Asian dub. Or vice versa, start with it or do two versions of it. Definitely extremely interesting to think about.
Yeah, it's hopefully Microsoft keep investing into Netflix with their shows.
Yeah. Definitely.
Obviously, Halo is at Paramount, and a lot of people are hit and miss on the first season of Halo. I think it's just fine. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it picks up the pace in season 2, as well as hopefully they make some safe changes there and get a little bit more on track with how the majority of Halo fans would like to see it. Like me and you both said, we're not too bothered about seeing the same story again. If we were going to do that, we'd just go play the games.
Yeah, exactly. We've played the games over and over again, so I don't mind Halo being a different story.
I do understand, though, that they should at least stick a bit closer to what the story is, while also doing their own thing, because that's safest for the majority of the fans. So hopefully they correct the ship there, and it brings a lot of people back to that show, because it does have a lot of potential. I mean, even the suit designs, everything around the production of the game is fine. The suits,
you know where it is. I think with Discovery's
CG for the aliens isn't too bad.
I was going to say, I think with Discovery as well, is you've got to think this is they tried it to see how good it would do, and it exceeded all their expectations. It was their most popular thing on Discovery, the most viewed program on Discovery. So I think season 2 they're gonna really ramp up the value on it, production value and the production costs and things like that. So I think we'll see a better season 2, definitely.
It's definitely a show with a lot of teething issues, and they
absolutely.
can be easily resolved in a second season, like most shows. That's why I hate when a TV show comes out and it's killed off before its second season even comes out, because every single show out there doesn't have a great first season.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, in my opinion, the first season for that, I found it hard to get into. I had to give it multiple chances before I proper got into it. But once you get into season 2 of Game of Thrones, everything gets so much better. Obviously, we all know how that went along the lines with the final season being rushed and a letdown. But the majority of Game of Thrones was great. It's only because they wanted to move on to greener pastures, because they were going into Star Wars, and then we all know how that happened, and Disney ended up cancelling their contract with them because they didn't like what they did with Game of Thrones.
Yeah. But that's not the. I was going to say that's not even the only one we've got coming up, of course. And thanks for Master Clown for reminding us. We've also got the Fallout TV show.
That's at Amazon, is it?
By Amazon in production, yeah.
Hopefully that's good. I've seen some.
So I've seen the sets for it. The sets look awesome.
It looks interesting, and I mean, Fallout's one of them very vague things, they can do whatever they want with it because not
Yeah,
every single
absolutely.
Fallout game
As
follows
long as they
every
put the
single
vaults
Fallout
and
game.
things in there, it makes no difference, really. Because there's no real, like, Fallout has a relative lore, but really it's just what happens in the post-apocalyptic world of Fallout. So they can kind of write whatever story the hell they want. Like, your character's never the same because the character's played by you. So there's no,
Mhm.
like, restrictions there on, like, what they can put in and source material, etc. As long as they've got, like, Vault 11, and they kind of talk about it in that sense, I think they'd be absolutely golden.
Yeah, there's so many different stories they can tell in that Fallout universe, and people will be okay with it.
But this is a myriad of shows coming up now. But that's so it's for Xbox. They have Fallout. Um, they have Gears
Isn't
of
there
War,
something like Elder Scrolls
Halo.
related in the works, or am I imagining that?
I don't think there is. I don't think there is. I could be mistaken, but I don't think there is. I think Fallout is definitely there. Um,
Mm.
Halo, Gears, Fallout is the main ones so far.
Elder Scrolls does make sense as well. Like,
Oh, absolutely. It just depends on who wants to
if
take that
if
on
they partner
because
with Netflix for that, that could be Netflix's answer to Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, basically. So
yeah,
that would
but
be
I think with I suppose it really boils down to whether or not they want that. Because of course they've still got The Witcher.
true. Yeah, yeah. I mean, depends what happens with that because there is a bit of uproar with the recasting, and
Just a little bit, yeah.
if it doesn't go according to plan with, I think it's Liam Hemsworth
Liam
that's
Hemsworth,
taken
yeah.
over from Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Um, Bit of sad news with Chris Hemsworth as well. He'd just taken a test, and he's got 2 copies of a gene that basically says at some point in his life he's going to get Alzheimer's. And
Uh,
I really feel for that man right now. He must be
yeah, I wouldn't wish
worrying a
Alzheimer's
lot.
on anybody, regardless. Like it's such
It,
a horrific disease.
honestly, it must suck for people that have obviously got kids. Like not being able to remember that must be terrible. I can't imagine what he's going through right now.
No. You just gotta make out the time that he's got at the minute, like to be fair, before it starts kicking in. And there are things that can help slow down the effects of Alzheimer's, so just about just doing as much as he can in with what he's got. Essentially, he's nothing else he
Yeah, I
can be
mean, there's
doing.
obviously no real sign that he's going to get it anytime soon. It could be later in his old age.
Yeah, and it could
Just
it
basically
could.
says he
Now that's the
could
thing
get
with
it
Alzheimer's
anytime.
as well, is there's no
Right.
guarantee that you're gonna have it like a lot. Some people do, where it's like unbelievably like debilitating, and they're not allowed to leave the house at all because they would literally just get lost. They'd have to have carers 24/7, so that like they're not just wandering off everywhere. But then there's the opposite side where there's those with Alzheimer's that are literally just can't really remember that much, and then remember things after a brief conversation, and are still pretty competent getting around the place. And like there's kind of levels to it. It's like not some are horrific, others are uh, livable. But I'd not wish any of them on anybody. Forgetting your own relatives, your own wife, etc. It's horrible.
Yeah, so not something I'd wish upon anyone.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely not. I think retirement. I think for him is a bit. I think personally it's too soon. He might just be scared, and I don't blame him. To be honest, if you hear that you've got the very high possibility of getting Alzheimer's in your future,
I'd imagine if he's just found that out, he's probably worrying how much more time he's got left with his kids,
yeah,
his missus. That shit goes through everyone's mind. Like, I need to spend as much time as possible with my family. Maybe when he's had a bit more time to,
sit on it and think.
I guess, digest this news, he'll make a concrete decision. But
Just give
honestly,
yourself.
whatever
I was gonna
decision he
say
makes, I
just
understand it.
just give himself a cut off period. Just say, okay, I'm gonna do like 2-3 more years of acting, and then that's it. And then I'm just gonna spend the rest of me time with my family or doing maybe bit part roles or something like that. something that takes up far
Yeah,
less
I
of his
mean,
time.
whatever decision he makes is fully understandable, and I'd more than understand why he would quit acting and continue doing that.
Oh, absolutely.
Family
And it's
time is
not.
important.
I was going
So,
to say, thankfully for people like Chris Hemsworth, etc. And this is a stark contrast to for a lot of Alzheimer's patients. Um, is he's fortunate that he has the money to be able to leave to his family, etc. Because there's a lot of people that unfortunately do not have that to leave to family members.
yeah, I mean, could go that way as well. That he does a lot more movies, so he can leave a legacy for his kids.
Yeah. But hey, it's unfortunate news. Obviously, you never like hearing anybody getting Alzheimer's, let alone with one of our favorite actors and things like that. But
Uh, I mean, even on the whole Gears of War thing, they're perfect casting for Baird.
yeah, it'd be a good one. It'd be a good one.
I could see him as Baird. He's got that cheeky, sarcasticness to him when he plays Thor, that Baird could easily have, and that would be pretty awesome to see him be Baird. He's partnered with Netflix for films before, so it's not like they don't have his
Knives Out, I
number.
think, was one of them, isn't it? Knives Out. And
Um, I think Knives Out. Also, that movie Extraction. It's in India. That was a great film.
yeah, and the recent one with
It's like a horror sort of thing, isn't it? I can't remember what it's called. Spider something.
oh no, not just that one. There was another one as well. The
Yeah,
action film with
he's been in a lot of.
Was it Ryan Gosling or the other Ryan Reynolds? Ryan Gosling, I think. The action film.
That's Chris Evans, I think. The guy who plays Captain America.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I'm thinking of a different guy then.
He's been Chris Hemsworth's been on a lot of Netflix stuff though. That's what I
yeah,
can say. So
yeah.
it'd be easy for them to get him on contract for a Gears movie
Oh,
if he
absolutely.
wanted to be in it.
Absolutely.
And same with Batista. He's been in Netflix movies, so why the hell not?
Why not? Why not? Um,
Andrew Carlane says my grandfather had it, mum had it too. Moving to wait, mum had it too. Moving to help out my grand.
yeah. Yeah,
Sorry to hear
my
that,
mother
mate.
did the
Sorry to hear
same.
that.
I was gonna say my mother did the same thing for my was it me? Yeah, it was me granda. Me granda had Alzheimer's. But it got massively worse after my gran passed. That's when he started to kind of give up hope. Before that, he was kind of forgetful and things like that, and then after that, he'd kind of just give up because obviously she was no longer there, so he had nothing really to focus on. So, yeah, it's a horrible disease. Horrible disease. I wouldn't like to say I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But yeah, there was and we'll cover off some more unfortunate news that you had today as well, or not you specifically, but in the entertainment sphere, something you grew up on. I'll let you kind of talk about that one.
Yeah, the guy who played the Green Ranger in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV series back in the day when I was a wee kid, Jason David Frank, passed away today, and it's one of the reasons why I've turned my light green today in tribute of him. One of my childhood heroes. They all are in those older Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series. I grew up adoring that.
Yeah,
Still love that now. I'll go back every now and then and rewatch the entire series. I did that when I had COVID a few months back, and it's just sad to see him go. Suicide of all things. So yeah, it's a shame. He's leaving a few kids behind, and a wife. And I'm guessing it probably comes down to mental health.
yeah,
Uh, so if anyone is out there and they are suffering with mental health, just know that there are people out there that are willing to listen to your stories. There's numbers out there you can contact, Samaritans. I'm sure Dutch will be able to put that in description
Yeah.
after the fact. So yeah, it's a sad day.
Seems to be specifically a common theme of this is the biggest downer of a gaming pod. I know we need to cover it. It is entertainment news.
I mean, I hold a lot of respect for him. He's done a lot. He's been an MMA fighter. He's done a lot for Power Rangers fans. He went to pretty much every single Power Rangers comic convention in recent years, and he's always like signed stuff for people and stayed back and signed stuff for kids that have recently watched the series and love him as a Power Ranger. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
It is very tough.
Not even a week ago, we lost Kevin Conroy, voice of Batman in the animated series and the Arkham games. That was a sad one. It seems like a lot of my childhood heroes are passing now, and it's a sad thing to see.
Yeah.
No one wants to see their heroes pass.
Yep.
You think your heroes are going to live forever when you're a kid.
That you do.
It's tough to say bye, but it's obviously even tougher for their families, and my thoughts are with them.
I completely agree. Back on some gaming news though, Jen. You tried out Warzone 2 the other day and were met with some issues.
Oh yeah.
What were those? Do you want to elaborate on these issues?
Well, Warzone 2 launched on the 16th of November,
Yep.
and it had some issues. And like every other Call of Duty launch, well, I got effed over in the early access for the campaign and was waiting an hour to play that.
Yep.
And then the multiplayer, when that launched, that was like a 3-hour wait for
Yep.
me to actually get on the game until we figured it out, thanks to Pat, who figured out that you needed to go into your Activision account, and Activision don't even tell you this themselves, and change some things. So you obviously don't need to do it now as the game is out globally. And well, I had issues with Warzone 2, and I didn't get my battle pass right away. I had to basically uninstall the game, well, not the game, but the battle pass sort of two things, the Vault Edition, to get that to install. And then when I did that, battle pass was working, but I didn't have the 50 tier skips that you're supposed to get when you log into the game, and that didn't show up for like 24 hours. So yeah, that was a pain. Marion had the same issue, but his issue didn't last as long as mine did.
Yeah.
It seems to be the COD curse for me. It always wants to go bigger and better with waiting for me to actually access content.
Yeah, thankfully for me, I'm not going to be back on COD until I've wrapped up God of War. And then I'll be
same
back
here
on
pretty
COD.
much.
Yeah. Then
If I'm done God of War in the week, then I'll be back on COD at the weekend.
Yeah.
To try out a bit more Warzone. I haven't actually played Warzone Battle Royale, but I did try out the DMZ mode, which is a bit Escape from Tarkov. Obviously, still being with the Call of Duty twist, of course. Played one game of that, and within 5 minutes, I was dead.
Nice.
Yeah, I was killed by a bot, which for some reason they're cracked out of their minds in this game mode and can kill you so easily. But yeah, you go play Invasion, and they're all standing there like a bunch of idiots, allowing you just to shoot them.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yes, Fanto, I did get the 50 tier skips after like 24 hours. It's pretty ridiculous, but got it in the end. If I hadn't, I would have been requesting a refund.
Well, at least they come through. Come through eventually. Better late than
Eventually.
never.
If it hadn't come through, I would have just requested a refund and got the standard edition because I ain't paying the extra 30 quid to get stuff that I'm supposed to get and I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my Call of Duty Warzone experience, and I've yet to go actually play Warzone. So
Like I say, I'll be doing it at some point. I'm looking forward to getting back in Call of Duty. Don't get us wrong, but as obviously big single player games, you can play them all through, and when they're done, they are completely done. There's no need to go back to them. So get those big single player ones out of the way of, because we've got another couple coming up. Still got High on Life, which I'm looking forward to. Really looking forward
that's one
to.
I always forget about, as much as I shouldn't, because I know how much I'm going to be playing that as soon as it comes out.
Yeah,
But it always slips my mind. And Callisto Protocol as
Gonna be
well. That's another one.
absolutely streaming High on Life, because that's going to be hilarious. And Callisto Protocol, of course, to finish out the year. It's a good end of the year.
Crazy.
Good end of the year.
Yeah. Isn't Warhammer Darktide out now, or
It's out for PC. The console version's been delayed to next year at some point.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Is it on PC Game Pass?
Yeah, it's on PC Game Pass.
I'll give it a try on that then if I get round to it.
Yeah.
I won't commit to that just yet.
Yeah.
There's so many other games I need to catch up on at the moment.
That's the thing, and that's why I'm kind of stopping myself. Exactly. You need to seriously catch up on Pokemon Violet.
I know. I've only got 3 badges. What the hell? You've got 18 badges.
18 badges, 25-hour playtime, 54 recipes, 121 caught Pokemon, 268 seen.
No. I'm so far behind. I didn't think he was that far ahead of me.
Oh dear me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to get back into God of War as well and finishing that up.
I can't wait to get back to it in the week.
I feel like I'm like 2/3 of the way through it, of the single player. And what I've said about the streaming for me is I'm going to finish off the actual campaign on stream. Off stream, I'm going to do a lot of the side stuff, get the side stuff knocked out. And then just as I'm about to finish the 100%, then I'll stream the last kind of hour or so of what I need to do, or a couple of hours of 100% in it. And that'll be that.
I think I'm going to do exactly the same as what you're doing. Do the main story, do a little bit of side content.
Yeah.
And not stream it. And then when it gets closer to me 100% in it, then come back and pop up the rest on stream.
Yeah. Yeah, like do the last boss on stream or something for the 100%. And by boss, I mean the side bosses, the berserkers.
I'm not looking forward to fighting those berserkers. Not after that first one. That was a pain in my arse.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a poll actually that went on Twitter. This is a funny one. There was a poll that went on Twitter and said, "Which do you count as worse? Like a bigger pain in the arse? The berserkers or the Valkyries?" And everybody, like, I think it was 70-30 for berserkers. I do not blame them. They're a pain in the fucking arse.
Just that first one. I remember fighting a Valkyrie.
Like the Valkyries have got set attack patterns, and you can learn the attack patterns of the Valkyries and just dodge out the way of them and like make sure now press it. But the berserkers aren't. There is no real attack pattern. They're just fucking like the one I fought was jumping up and then disappearing and then flying back down again. So you couldn't really see him because the camera angle wouldn't let you.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to taking on the berserkers again. I already streamed that, and that was a painful experience.
Yeah.
And I was swearing a lot.
Yeah.
And I was getting very angry. And then my mood just went from happy that I was playing God of War to pissed off that I was playing God of War.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where the story goes, though, because it could go any direction.
The story's phenomenal. I'm loving the story.
We've got to give shout out to Payo as well. Everyone knows Payo on Twitter. He's like a God of War fanatic / Sony fanatic, but he's obviously a huge Sony fanboy, but he's a really cool dude. Like he means no harm by what he does. He's really silly with his unboxing things like that. But he's just platinumed it, and he's put his spoiler-free review of his platinum on YouTube as well, so that'll be interesting to watch. But he was adamant he was going through it, and when I was sitting on 20 odd hours, he was already on like 50 odd hours. So
Yeah.
God knows how he managed that, but he would have been playing that game solid for days. But
Yeah.
I think he got full
I'm looking forward
platinum
to getting
in
back into
something
that.
like 60 hours, maybe 60-ish hours for full platinum.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to platinum it in that amount of time because there's other games that I need to play.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
uh, so yeah, but I'll get round to 100% in it surely by year's end.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I'll have mine 100% is within a few weeks. It depends on how many more streams of the campaign, because obviously to me it's unknown how many streams of the campaign it is, because I don't know
I'm on
when.
like part 8.
It could be.
And I've been doing short streams, or shortish streams.
It could be that I've got maybe 4 more streams left. It could be that I've got 2 more streams left. I don't know, because I don't know what part of the story I'm up to. So,
Mm.
and I'm not looking at
I
any way
think
to
you've
see
only
how
got
far I am.
I think you've only got 4 parts, is it? No, next is your part 4, right? The one you're streaming tomorrow.
Yeah.
Part 4. Yeah, I've been doing a few little streams here and there with that, like about 2 hours, and every time I've turned it off, I was like, I could just play God of War right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wished I'd streamed for longer.
Absolutely. I'm exactly the same. Wish I'd played for longer.
I can't wait to get back into it. I'm just itching to get back to the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what I'm going to focus on mostly now, though. So when I do stream
Yes.
it next, it's mainly going to be all story. I'll focus on side content after.
Yeah.
I will do all the side missions on stream. That's about it. I'll leave the other side content, not the side missions, like the Berserker battles and collectibles and such. I'll do most of that off stream.
Yeah.
Come back to it near game's end. It's completely done. I'm just wondering if, like the first game, where it doesn't tell you to go home, there is something like that. I kind of expect it now. Obviously, I don't want to Google it and find out. So that's going to be one of the first things I do when I complete the game is go back home, see if it does anything. If I've got the option to, that is, because I don't know what happens.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I think that about wraps up today's show. It's actually been longer than we thought, but we've had a good conversation there. Before I do go, though, just going to put my Switch code up on screen there. So if anybody wants to add me on Switch, feel free to jot that down or make memory of it and play some Pokemon or Mario Kart or something like that at some point. But Switch code's up on screen there. So for anybody interested, feel free to add me. Play some Switch games. I don't know if I've got that many, to be fair, but I've got a few. Legend Arceus, Sword, Pokemon TV, Pokemon Scarlet. Not everything's Pokemon, believe it or not. Mario Kart,
I
Hellblade.
can't connect to the internet, so I can't show you my Switch code.
Yeah.
Does it show your friend's Switch code when you go to their name?
Yeah. No, it doesn't show friends' Switch codes on there, which is strange. I think only you can do that, but never mind. I've also just realised not that it matters now because it's a bit too late. The overlay number. It's just on the bitter end of this podcast. It is actually number 31, not 30. Always forget something. But yes.
No different. I forgot to change the thumbnail a few times when I've
Fanto's
reused
just
the God of War
realised that
settings.
as well. Fanto's just realised I haven't changed the friggin' thing yet. But yes, guys, gals, everyone who's watching, I hope you enjoyed the stream today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Of course, if you did, please make sure to share or drop a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Yes, a good hour and a half already. It was a quick hour and a half, to be fair. I hope everybody did enjoy the
That went
show, though.
quick.
But we'll do our outros now, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Jen, let people know where they can find you, and what you've got coming up.
You can find me on my YouTube channel, The General C, and YouTube, the _General_C. And I should hopefully have a review out tomorrow of a game that is out 22nd, I think. I can't say what that is, under review embargo. But yeah, the review embargo lifts, I believe it's tomorrow at 7. I'm going to try my damn hardest to get that recorded and edited in the daytime tomorrow so I can upload it either on the right time or just after. Push comes to shove, it comes out the day after. But yeah, it's something to look for on my channel if you're interested in that specific game. When figure out what that is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be as vague as possible without accidentally saying the title of the game. So it's hard to do that. It's the first game I've ever got a review code for. So
Yep.
it's pretty interesting.
Yep.
Thankful that I got the code.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting. But of course, make sure these links are in the description, by the way. So if you're not already following the General C, go and drop them a follow or a subscribe down below as well. And of course, on Monday or Tuesday, depending on when that's out, obviously watch that, enjoy it. I know he's
Fingers crossed it is out tomorrow, but
yeah,
push comes to shove Tuesday.
Yeah. So yes, and obviously enjoy it when you see that. For the rest of us, of course, I'll be back here again tomorrow night with a God of Ragnarok again, which we didn't do this weekend. So picking up the story from where we left off. On Tuesday, of course, back to Sea of Tuesday's Playcast. On Wednesday, the Midweek Mix-Up podcast. Of course, Thursday, back again with Box and Burger on the World of Gaming. And next weekend, of course, we don't have the weekend edition because it's every 2 weeks. And it's a good job because news is dry.
News is definitely dry. You watch, something big will come out this week and we'll be like, oh, damn, we'll have to do a weekend show.
Yeah. Well, we shall see what happens. We'll see what happens. But other than that, again, massive thank you to everybody who was in chat today or even not in chat and just watching in the background. Hope you enjoyed the show. Again, like, share, and subscribe if you can. That would be much appreciated. But hope everybody has an awesome evening, and we shall see you all again very soon. Goodbye.